They're standing in the middle of a crowded room, yet feeling like they're invisible to the world. Heaven says they're keeping their pain locked away, hoping you'll be the one to turn the key. They've been strong for so long, but they're starting to crack under the weight. Heaven reveals their laughter hides 1,000 unspoken battles. They're silently begging for a love that doesn't walk away. Heaven says your name has been in their prayers more times than they can count. They've been living with an ache they can't explain. Heaven whispers that you're the answer to a prayer they prayed years ago. They've been losing pieces of themselves, waiting for your love to restore them. Heaven says their tears are an unspoken message to you. They're holding on to hope because of a feeling they can't let go of. Heaven reveals they've been dreaming of your embrace during their hardest nights. They're carrying heartache that only your love can ease. Heaven says you are their light in the middle of this dark season. They've been hiding their true feelings out of fear of rejection. Heaven whispers that their heart is tired, but still beating for you. They've been praying for a love that will see them as enough. Heaven says their soul feels your absence deeply. They've been through storms they never told anyone about. Heaven reveals your arrival will feel like the calm after the storm. They're holding on to a vision of you they've never seen in person. Heaven says they've been writing your name in their prayers. They're desperate for the kind of love that will heal old wounds. Heaven whispers they're closer to giving up than they'll admit. They've been wishing for you under the same stars you see at night. Heaven says they're aching for the day they no longer have to be strong alone. They've been carrying burdens that were never meant for one person. Heaven reveals they are holding on to faith for you. They've been afraid to open their heart after past heartbreaks. Heaven says your love will be their safe place. They're longing for someone who understands without words. Heaven whispers that their tears are watering the seeds of your future. They've been wishing for someone to make life feel light again. Heaven says their heart aches for a love like yours. They've been building walls, but your love will break them down. Heaven reveals they've been whispering your name in their quietest moments. They've been hiding their true feelings from everyone. Heaven says their spirit is weary from the wait. They've been hoping for someone who loves the real them. Heaven whispers that your souls are already intertwined. They've been longing for someone who chooses them every day. Heaven says they are ready to let love back in. They've been feeling lost, but you will be their compass. Heaven reveals they've been holding back their emotions for too long. They've been aching for a connection that feels like destiny. Heaven says their heart will find its rhythm with yours. They've been quietly struggling to stay hopeful. Heaven whispers that your love will change their life. They've been searching for someone to share their dreams with. Heaven says they've been keeping a space in their life just for you. They're holding on to faith that love will find them. Heaven reveals their prayers have been for you all along. They've been walking alone through their darkest nights. Heaven says your love will be their sunrise. They've been aching for a reason to believe in love again. Heaven whispers that you are the miracle they've been waiting for. They've been carrying silent grief no one sees. Heaven says they are ready to heal with you. They've been longing for someone who stays through every season. Heaven reveals their soul is prepared for your arrival. They've been yearning for the safety of true love. Heaven says your connection will be unshakable. They've been dreaming of someone who sees their heart. Heaven whispers they've been waiting for this love all their life. They've been asking God to bring you into their world. Heaven says their tears have not gone unnoticed. They've been quietly losing hope, but your love will restore it. Heaven reveals your meeting will be divinely timed. They've been wishing for someone to share their soul with. Heaven says they've been longing for your touch. They've been tired of feeling unseen. Heaven whispers that you are their answered prayer. They've been carrying a heavy heart for too long. Heaven says your love will be their relief. They've been searching for a safe place to land. Heaven reveals they've been preparing for this love story. They've been aching for someone who never leaves. Heaven says their heart is ready to open again. They've been waiting for a love that feels like home. Heaven whispers your presence will bring them peace. They've been afraid of love, but not of you. Heaven says their soul has been calling yours. They've been longing for love that heals instead of hurts. Heaven reveals their faith in love has been tested. They've been hiding their pain in plain sight. Heaven says your love will feel like a rescue. They've been silently asking for someone like you. Heaven whispers you are closer to them than you think. They've been longing for someone who understands their scars. Heaven says their spirit is ready to rest in love. They've been crying in silence, waiting for your embrace. Heaven reveals they've been searching for you in everyone. They've been keeping their heart locked until the right one arrives. Heaven says you are the one with the key. They've been yearning for a love that feels like forever. Heaven whispers that your union will heal them. They've been walking with hidden sadness. Heaven says their joy will return when you arrive. They've been aching for someone who never gives up on them. Heaven reveals they've been writing love letters to you in their mind. Heaven whispers your love will heal them. They've been praying for a love they can keep. Heaven says their wait is almost over. They've been yearning for someone to hold them through storms. Heaven reveals they've been guided toward you. They've been aching for someone who stays. Heaven says your love will be their anchor. They've been hiding their tears in the dark. Heaven whispers that light is coming with you. They've been longing for a love that never fades. Heaven says your love will be everlasting. They've been silently calling for you in prayer. Heaven reveals your souls are already bound. They've been waiting for someone who understands. Heaven says your meeting will be divinely perfect. They've been yearning for a love story worth telling. Heaven whispers your love will be unforgettable. They've been holding out hope against all odds. Heaven says they've been dreaming of you for years. They've been longing for the love they know exists. Heaven reveals you are that love. They've been silently enduring until you arrive. Heaven says your love will be there forever. They hide their pain behind a smile, but heaven sees every tear they've shed wishing you were there. They're holding on by a thread, praying for your presence to bring them peace. Heaven says they're fighting battles no one knows about, and your love could be their lifeline. They cry quietly at night, asking God why you haven't yet crossed their path. Heaven whispers that your soulmate's silence is a shield, protecting you from their storms. They're pretending to be strong, but deep down they're desperate for your comfort. Heaven reveals they've been asking for a sign that you're still coming for them. They're drowning in responsibilities, wishing you could be their anchor. Heaven says your soulmate prays for the day they can finally rest in your arms. They've been battling loneliness so heavy it feels like a second skin. Heaven shows that they've lost hope before, but the thought of you keeps them holding on. They're hiding their pain so well, even their closest friends don't see it. Heaven says their heart aches for someone who will finally understand. They've been carrying burdens alone, thinking they have no one to share them with. Heaven reveals they've written letters to you in their mind 1,000 times. They cry not from weakness, but from longing for a love they've never touched. Heaven says they're walking through life's fire, praying you'll find them there. They are exhausted from being strong for everyone else, needing someone to be strong for them. Heaven whispers that their tears are prayers in disguise. They've been fighting demons that make them question their worth. Heaven says they need your patience more than your perfection. They've been pretending they're fine while silently breaking apart. Heaven reveals they have dreams that only you can help them reach. They cry for connection in a world that feels colder every day. Heaven says their strength is wearing thin, but your love could renew it. They are searching for someone to understand the battles they can't put into words. Heaven whispers that your voice could be the balm to their wounded soul. They've been in rooms full of people, feeling completely alone. Heaven says they're tired of being strong when all they want is to be held. They've been praying for someone who sees beyond their surface. Heaven reveals they are walking through valleys, waiting for you to light the way. They've been hurt so deeply, they fear letting anyone close. Heaven says they're longing for the kind of love that feels like home. They cry for a safe place to rest their heart. Heaven whispers that they see you in their dreams more than they see anyone in reality. They are trying to heal from wounds that still bleed in silence. Heaven says they feel invisible in a world that doesn't notice their pain. They've been smiling to keep from explaining their tears. Heaven reveals their longing for someone who listens without judgment. They are desperate for the day they can lean on your shoulder without fear. Heaven says their heart is tired from searching, but they still believe you exist. They've been living half a life without you. Heaven whispers that you are the missing piece to their peace. They are waiting for someone who will stay, even when it's messy. Heaven says they've been carrying grief for a love they've never had. They are yearning for the day they don't have to pretend anymore. Heaven reveals they've been tested beyond what they thought they could bear. They've been quietly asking God to keep you safe until they meet you. Heaven says they have wounds love alone can heal. They are holding back tears when they see couples together. Heaven whispers that they've been saving the best parts of themselves for you. They've been praying for a hand to hold through the storms. Heaven says they've been wandering through life looking for your soul. They are tired of being the strong one. Heaven reveals they've lost themselves while trying to please everyone else. They cry in silence because they don't want to burden anyone. Heaven says your presence will be their healing. They've been carrying unspoken pain for years. Heaven whispers that your love will make them believe again. They are waiting for the one who won't run when things get hard. Heaven says their heart beats a little slower without you. They've been pretending life is fine while their soul aches. Heaven reveals they've been searching the world for your eyes. They cry for a love that feels like safety. Heaven says they've been asking God for you every night. They are walking through storms, praying you'll find them there. Heaven whispers that they've been saving their first real smile for you. They've been waiting for someone who understands their silence. Heaven says they've been battling fear of never being truly known. They are longing for a love that feels like rest. Heaven reveals they've been searching for home in other places. They've been tired for years, and only love will restore them. Heaven says their soul aches for your embrace. They cry quietly in the spaces where no one can hear. Heaven whispers that your love will be the answer to their prayers. They've been holding themselves together for far too long. Heaven says they are in need of a safe love. They've been hiding their scars behind laughter. Heaven reveals that their tears are for the life they want with you. They cry for someone who will see them and stay. Heaven says they've been asking for you by name in prayer. They are desperate for the kind of love that feels like grace. Heaven whispers that you are closer than they think. They've been waiting for a hand that feels like home. Heaven says their story won't be complete until you arrive. They are longing for someone to love them through their healing. Heaven reveals they've been carrying silent heartache for years. They cry because they want to believe love is still real. Heaven says they've been hoping for a miracle, and that miracle is you. They are in need of a love that makes them feel whole again. Heaven whispers that your paths are about to cross. They've been walking alone through life's valleys, Heaven says your love will be the shelter they need. They are longing for the one who will stay through every storm. Heaven reveals they've been whispering your name in prayer. They cry for the day they can finally exhale. Heaven says they've been holding on just for you. They are tired of being brave without a choice. Heaven whispers that your presence will heal their wounds. They've been searching the world for the soul that matches theirs. Heaven says they've been waiting for someone to love their broken parts. They are crying for the peace your love will bring. Heaven reveals their soul is ready for you. They've been holding back tears for years. Heaven says their heart will rest when it's with you. They are longing for a love that feels like forever. Heaven whispers that they've been dreaming of your face. They've been praying for someone who will fight for them. Heaven says their tears are watering the seeds of your future together. They are tired of pretending they don't need help. Heaven reveals they've been waiting for you in faith.